Read the disclaimer.
All right, what is good, guys? Welcome back to COG Podcast, episode number 2. I'm Charles.
Jason.
And we're coming back today after post YCS Providence. We're a little late on it. It got over with this weekend, but just work schedules and everything. So we're going to come back and hit it hard and say, man, I think we got it right. Like, if you guys don't know, we've been putting up shorts on the channel and stuff like that, but we thought that Maliss would take it, and, well, Maliss didn't. But our next bet was something Mitsurugi, and then Mitsurugi Ryziel just took the whole thing.
Yeah, actually, the finals was it pure Mitsurugi versus Mitsurugi?
I think Shu Ping, if that
Shu Ping was Fiendsmith Ryziel.
Yeah, yeah, he was on Fiendsmith Ryziel. But, yeah, we got to watch Charlie, I think his name, won the entire event. Charlie just steamrolled pretty much through it all. And he was you could just definitely tell he was so tired because of the whole, the commentator went to shake his hand. Remember that? And he just dead ass, looked straight ahead, like the whole 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional at all.
No.
I mean, you could tell from the video, he's like,
what is it?
Being up there on stage, you have
12 rounds of YuGiOh too?
Yeah, 12 rounds of YuGiOh. People are staring at you. You got your friends making comments, because I know if I saw you on the stage, man, I'm going to be flipping you off. I'm going to be making you try to mess up. So.
Yeah, exactly. Say something stupid.
Yeah.
Dude, if I ever get on stage, they're going to ask me some off-the-wall question. They're going to be like, so what was your hardest matchup today? And I'll grab the mic and I'll be like, well, Billy, I think you should free Isolde. She did nothing wrong. And then the security's going to come pull me off the whole thing. Free Isolde. She did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And then that'll be my last time. Banned.
Banned.
But speaking of banned, I didn't have it on the list today to talk about, but they've been a picture floating around showing the banned list, like the banned player list. And it looks a lot like Pac's name is on that ban list. Have you seen it going around lately on Zodiac?
I haven't. I actually heard I saw somebody post a post that he might have gotten into a fight.
He got into a fight.
I think, yeah. I'm not. Nobody quote me on this.
Oh, Pac out there throwing hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was floating around Twitter and I caught it and I was hoping I saved it because it shows like the most recent player list and his name is on it. But I can't imagine Konami would be incompetent to let him, play and still be on the ban list, right?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll see. I'll definitely for the viewers, I'll put it up here just to show you guys what we're talking about. We're not slandering. Yeah.
Nice. Editing.
Yeah, we're not slandering him by any means, but it was just something interesting. It seemed like this YCS proposed a lot of drama in like the secondhand community, but anyway, so the top 32. You got the top 32 list?
I do actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go and discuss the YCS top 32.
Yeah, so we had I'm just going to put them all together, so...
And just for the viewers, you guys out there, it'll be up here so you guys can also see the list that we're talking about.
Right, so it's 12 Maliss decks, so
okay.
nine of them have the Adagnister, and then it just says 3 Maliss, which some of them still ran, like, the backup security, so I don't know.
Wonder what the difference... Would it be maybe, like, they stick to Bystials instead of, like, more Bystials?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So we got 7 Mitsurugi Ryziels.
Okay.
3 Fiendsmith Mitsurugi Ryziel.
Fiendsmith Mitsurugi. Okay.
Yeah. 2 pure Ryziel. 1 Primite Blue Eyes. 1 Mitsurugi. 1 Fiendsmith Ryziel, which was Shu Ping.
Yep.
1 Fiendsmith Bystial. Kashtira Regenesis, which we talked about last time as well. Horus Christian.
Yeah, huge. I think that was Santoli was playing the Christian list.
Mm-hmm. And then 1 Mermail Atlantean. And then kind of a wild card, which is kind of crazy. It made some way. It was the Heraldic Beast Ryziel, which is like the hand loop.
Yeah, where I remember messaging you guys because when I was watching it, I saw the feature match and I got bored, so I just started going down and seeing it. They loop Evil Storm Ouroboros multiple times. They just detach, rip a card out because it's not once per turn, hard once per turn, so they're just gonna rip it. And the Heraldic cards are kind of insane. That they even like the new support they got is just kind of like wild. Especially that new XYZ. It's like an imperm, but it turns a monster into unknown, so like it loses, I think, its name. So
yeah,
like,
I do.
Yeah, so like I think like the way it works is if you control a Ryziel monster, it's no longer a Ryziel monster, it's unknown. So like cards that special summon if you control a blank monster, it turns. I don't know, but I think that's like a cool little thing that it does. But it essentially just imperm.
Yeah, that new Heraldic stuff was completely under the radar. But
yeah.
That's what's awesome about this game, right? People can show up with like the most random ass things, and then
So you know what's actually kind of wild is that according to the top 32 of YCS Providence, our meta at our locals is pretty sweaty.
Yeah.
Normally our locals is like bottom of the barrel, where it's like mostly just people showing off their favorite rogue decks and throwing hands with maybe 1 or 2 meta players. But according to YCS Providence, We have pretty meta locals.
We do have a pretty meta locals.
So what makes you? Why do you think that? So what was it? You said total of 13 Maliss. 12.
12. Yeah.
12 Maliss. So what makes you think? What happened with Maliss? Like, why didn't it convert? Because it eventually, like, it completely was out of the. How many do we have a list of the top 8?
I know Ryan Yu made top 16 with his Maliss, and I do believe there was one Maliss that was top 8, maybe top 4, if I remember. So I think it was the Charlie versus a pure Mitsurugi. I think that's the one I watched, and then Shu Ping beat the Maliss, I do believe, on the top.
Okay.
But don't quote me on that. But I'm going off of pure memory here, which is usually bad. But I think a lot of people were expecting Maliss to actually take it with all the new all the new cyber supports that they received. I just think it's kind of like an uphill battle for him, right? Because like a lot of people, if everybody's expecting you, there's going to be Lancias, there's going to be like a bunch of side decks just prepared for it.
I think someone said the average side deck had like 9 cards to counter Maliss. Mm-hmm. On average, it was like 9 cards. It was Meows, Lancia, and like some people who could afford to play was playing Chaos Hunter. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and every content creator and every like YouTuber, every pro player was really hyping this deck up. So I think they just over prepared maybe. So that's what caused it to squanch it out.
I mean, you have like a lot of just like a lot of Yugi tubers, sitting there talking it up and saying, hey, this is going to be the deck to beat. And then a lot of people show up prepared to beat that deck. So
and that's what when you go into a YCS, it's not a regional, you're testing against that. So I guess if everyone believes Maliss was going to be tier 0 and that's all they test against, so they know how to like interact with the deck perfectly, and all these Maliss players are just getting donkey kicked by these players who just tested hours against it. So definitely, I don't even say like maybe, that's probably 100% what happened was the community kind of scared everyone into a tier 0, so everyone like overcompensated for it. 9 cards in the extra deck is kind of wild.
Yeah.
When you start to think about like you're preparing for one deck, and then like YuGiOh, which everyone kind of thought was gonna fade off and just be an engine, even to have a pure YuGiOh in the top 32 is still like insane. And then that's YuGiOh's what took it, and that deck arguably was hit even harder than I'd say the Maliss was, because Maliss only lost 2 names to 2, Dormouse and Hare to 2.
Yeah.
And then YuGiOh was just every name shot down through, put the 2.
Yeah, I think especially two pure YuGiOhs in top 32 is pretty nutty. But I think Mitsurugi, I think a lot of people expected it to show up.
Yep.
But with YuGiOh, so I think it was really rough before the new Mitsurugi support came out, because like mainly you wanted the YuGiOh to bridge into the Mitsurugi. But now with the new Habakiri, the new ritual, and then the new regular effect monster,
level 4,
now you can use your Mitsurugi to bridge into your YuGiOh.
Yeah, so now it works both ways. Mm-hmm. See, I love decks that like have like those bridges where you can play like these engines that have synergy. Even though arguably the only synergy YuGiOh has with Mitsurugi is being level 4 and being able to make Feral King, But still, I like that bridge where like both engines do the same thing.
Right.
And that's just it's synergy, so it's just an awesome thing to see, versus like some decks who play a deck for just like one synergy, like there's only one bridge and it doesn't go both ways, and if you only see like one card out of one engine you're playing and not like a whole package, or like even like the rest of it doesn't work,
right,
it's just sitting dead in your hand. Which, speaking of that, I mean, we got to see how good the new Mitsurugi cards is, but like we also got to see firsthand at the YCS how limiting the hard once per turn effect of the new ritual is.
Yeah,
I don't know
once per duel.
Yeah, once per duel. Yeah, once per duel. That's what I was getting at. It's kind of crazy how once per duel they'd activate it. It would get ashed, and almost every Mitsurugi player I saw when I was able to pop in, that sucker was still just stuck in their hand. So it became a dead card in their hand.
Yeah.
But it's just such a strong effect. Again, I wonder why they made that a once per duel, especially when there's like certain cards that are not once per turn that exist. Like, I don't understand the logic behind making a once per duel instead of like a once per turn.
Yeah, I think you'd have to like pray to the Konami gods to answer that question. Like,
yeah.
That'll be.
We'll get that answer.
Yeah,
when we're dead.
When would they ever even speak up and say, "Hey, this is our legit reasoning"? I mean, the card's crazy. Don't get me wrong. It generates so much. You summon Sanji, you immediately tribute Sanji,
and it's all like one effect. So there's no window or anything to respond to like the summon. It's all just one giant effect. Mm-hmm. It just makes you wonder, like, especially like even at locals this last Friday, I like activated my Regenesis card to search, and it can't use both of its effects in the same turn. And then I literally watched the guy go Fiendsmith track, and it's like if a track can literally add, dump, and then fuse on the same turn, like So it just makes me wonder. Maybe it's going to be a consistent thing in all the podcast episodes of me sitting here contemplating and bitching about the whole why does this card get to do this and why is this card I want just to be inside the brain of the Konami people and like when they go and design cards, like what makes them choose what cards are going to be, have their like limitations, and some cards are just going to be like you get 4 effects and you use every effect per turn.
Yeah,
and then there's like you breathe wrong, you're locked out of an extra deck, or something like that.
Yeah, I think. Business-wise, I'm sure it's money, right? You want to have everybody buy out the best cards, but like this new ritual, like it's just a super.
Yeah,
granted, to be in once per duel, it's like a huge kickback for you, but like it's wild. Like it generates you so much.
Still on the Mitsurugi, like we got a pure sneak in, and I think it was might have been someone from Goo Gaming, I think.
I'm not sure about which teams and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. I didn't get to catch the pure list. I know because I recently saw on YouTube that Goo Gaming had took a pure list, and I know that we had one up there. But that's kind of cool to see pure Mitsurugi, just reptiles go at it.
Right.
no Ryzeo, no nothing. The deck was able to really perform against the
like a little spotlight here on the new common card for Mitsurugi. It's like a searchable kaiju, like you tribute anything. And
he looks like Luffy. Yeah, I think he looks like Luffy from One Piece.
Yeah, but he's a crazy card. Like he just tribute, like he's spot removal. He gives you monsters. He's ritual fodder.
You said searchable too. Yeah, he's searchable. Searchable kaiju is still strong even today's.
Oh yeah. But it's even more than just like a kaiju, because like I think you tribute your stuff and one of your opponent's cards for it.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So like you're tributing, say if you have a Futso or any of your Mitsurugi, if you're playing pure, you're getting rid of fodder on your opponent's field. That's the detonator gone. That's
especially it's Ryzeo or Maliss, like when they're ending on like these one single cards, like that giant Adagnister, that's a huge negate. Just kaiju it. That's like that's one problem out of the way.
Right. Which a lot of people actually did play this weekend.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
Last weekend, it was I know Ryan, you made a big showcase because he was playing the bomber.
Yeah, so that was we'll talk about that later too, because
ahead of myself.
But no, you're right. That was it's really cool tech to see. Top Logic Bomber has not been played since a long time ago, since the Gumblar hand loop was going around. So it's really cool to see that card get brought in there, and it's a cool counter as to see the player community in such a short time were able to come up with these counter strategies to beat the mirror match and stuff like that. But yeah, so. Again, Mitsurugi showing its head. I'd say Mitsurugi, like, this is the first TCG exclusive and ritual deck that we've seen in such a long time to be as powerful as it is. Like, it can be played by itself. And I know the Pure gets to play, like, Impulse, and Impulse is insane against
Maliss.
Yeah. And they got to play, like, Extrav, too, which is like Pot of YuGiOh, draw 2. Yeah. So it was pretty cool and stuff to see that. So in the top 32, you said we had a Crystron, which was piloted by Santoli. Then we had a Regenesis, Regenesis Kashtira, and a Mermail. And outside of that, most of the stuff was pretty much mostly Ryzeo variants and Maliss and stuff like that. So those are probably like the 3 interesting non-Ryzeo or Maliss that we saw. And I didn't get to catch really much of Santoli's matches. I got to see like bits and pieces of them. But that's, huge congratulations to him for doing that, because Crystron's kind of like the collateral damage to Maliss. Like, all these cards that are good against Maliss are also kind of good against Crystron.
Right.
So it just takes, like, he went to the event knowing that, because but Santoli knows he's like a prominent player. He played Vanquish Soul and stuff like that a while back. So he knew what he was getting himself into, and still to take a deck knowing that there's going to be heavy side against him and still do so well is still pretty good.
Oh, yeah. For sure, because, like, all Maliss players, like, if they're like, I'm gonna say if they're good, that's probably like a bad thing to say, but that's just something that you got to like prepare for, and like that shows how good of a player he is, because it's not, obviously he didn't take Maliss, right? He took that Crystron, so like you take Crystron, you're automatically going to be contingency of war.
Collateral.
Collateral
damage is what we.
And to still perform that well and make it top 32, like that's kudos to you, sir.
I think something else to talk about. I know Yassine took Crystron to the YCS, the last one, I think, the one that happened. I think he ended up getting top 32 or top 16 with Crystron. I think it's one that Memento won.
Yeah.
So I think it was YCX Mexico that he took. So Crystron's been definitely out there, but to talk about that, it's interesting to see that Crystron squeezed in with the collateral damage to it, but like we didn't see any memento in the top 32.
Yeah, that was
there was no, and you would think since it won the last YCS.
Yeah, it was definitely building up, like kind of clout there. Like it was building up, and a lot of people were talking about it, and then. Yeah, you didn't even see it like feature matches. You didn't see it in top.
We talked about it, the last, and somebody ended up commenting and like kind of explained, since we're not, memento professors, or like, we don't have no degree in momentonism or whatever you want to call it, but educate us and said, like, gave us more reasons why this deck is insane, because its ability to play through hand traps, and just to see it not like show up, it's kind of surprising.
Yeah, it's
not even one, right? So
yeah, it's YuGiOh, right? Like,
yeah. I think I saw somewhere where the guy who won the last YCS was there playing memento again, and he was he clearly just kind of got
right. I'm sure there was someone there with memento, but
but didn't end
of the day, YuGiOh's
33rd
luck based,
33rd place, memento, and I'd be
that 33rd bubble.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool to go ahead. The Genesis, seeing that deck finally play. He pretty much said the cards are kind of simple. They do a lot, and no one knew a dang thing what they did. And then, of course, Unicorn being able to rip that one card from the extra deck. That was like, I got to listen to his like post match, and that was like that last game in that game 3. It was pretty much Unicorn and Finner holding it down. His spell card got ashed, I think, and he was just like, well, gotta go, and it was just enough.
Yeah, those Kashtira's cards, they're strong, and they can carry for a while.
They can, yeah. You're absolutely right. And the Genesis cards, like, they're strong too. I think like the in-phase add back just kind of is something we haven't seen in a lot of decks lately. So it's like big bodies, like kind of like Birth. If they solved the Kashtira, Birth always was going to bring back that body. And it's like, dang, I got to deal with this Finner, deal with this Unicorn again. And now like the Regenesis are kind of like take another step further. And it's like you play through all these disruptions or battled over all these big monsters, and during the in-phase, before my turn starts, they're coming right back to my hand. And since they're all like inherent, they're just gonna plop back out if you didn't solve the whole field or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that it showed really. I think I got to see a match with Regenesis Birth, the Book of Moon. That card has a lot of utility and what it does. Yeah, that card is probably the best card, arguably the best card in the deck.
Right, that's the trap, correct?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
What can Book of Moon during either player's turn, and then during their turn, it's like a soul charge. It reborns or summons as many Genesis from any location except the deck, banish, grave, or.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there one that like also special summons like 1 or 2 from the deck or graveyard or something like that on their opponent's turn? Or am I tripping?
No. So the 2 spells, Regenesis Code, which we got to see in the feature match, it's an E-Telly, blocks you from the extra deck. It summons from the deck, and then the spell, the Searcher spell, and Code all have graveyard effects except the turn they're sent there that they can resummon from the great. Like I think Regenesis summons from the graveyard, and then if you banish Code, it summons from the banished.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so they have like crazy, like kind of recursion, and it's like they're always going to keep those cards in a loop. But yeah, like and I think his list was playing all the Moltramis too.
Yeah, he was playing quite a bit.
Yeah, he was playing like 3 Fuwa, 3 Perilia, and then I have 1 second. We can check because my friend here, Caleb, sent us the list here. Also, a fun fact to talk about in Ecuador's national, because I have it here. Six Samurai got top 16.
Oh, yeah, I actually saw that.
Yeah, good old Six Sam. We have a devoted Six Sam player that he's devoted, and yeah, that's pretty much it. He was just devoted. I know I saved it just so we can kind of go over his list. I don't have the Mermail list, but nope. Darn it. Well, I know where we can find it.
Yeah.
All right.
I know Charles is going to get his practice in editing later as well.
Yeah. Also, since we're here, those new Dark Magician cards.
Dude, wild. Yeah.
Yeah, those cards are pretty insane.
It's a new fusion, right? But you just
two new fusions.
Yeah.
And 1 new spell, and then an alternate art.
Yeah. So the new spell is basically what Ayatamias with
searchable. Yeah.
Searchable Ayatamias, which is insane. And then the new fusion is just. You can fuse it, or you can just like send one from field to grave.
I think. Yeah. So the new Dark Magician, as long as you activate it,
going to be editing this out later.
Definitely not. Oh yeah. So I got the list here to go ahead and discuss while you're looking it up. But he played 3 Fuwa, 2 Perilia, and in the side deck he did not have any Meows or anything, but he did have 3 Lancia, 2 Chaos Hunter. And I know Bell was also being played as another counter. If you couldn't afford, Chaos Hunter, Bell was being played because I guess you can Bell some of the Malice cards.
Yeah, Bell is actually, you have people who's always always arguing on Bell, but I think Bell's pretty good this format.
It's just another hand trap that can be sided in specifically for a deck like Maliss. But I wonder if we're gonna see, while you're looking for the Dark Magician stuff, I wonder if we're really gonna see Maliss not to get to be its tier 0 potential like everyone thought it was, just simply because we've all been prepared for it. Like everyone's just gonna, what's that thing? How many times we gotta teach you this lesson, old man? And every time Maliss shows up, and it just gets donkey watered by like everyone ready for it until finally something fades it out to where it can like sneak in.
Right. Yeah, I think if you win a YCS with Maliss, Charles is gonna give you $100.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Deal. There you go.
So, Dark Magician of Destruction, Dark Magician and a one-liner Dark Monster. So yeah, either must be fusion summoned or special summoned from the extra deck by banishing one level 6 or higher Dark Spellcaster monster you control.
Okay.
During the turn you activate a spell card.
Yeah.
I might as well finish the whole effect. Or effect was previously activated, you can only special summon him once per turn, no matter which method. And he becomes Dark Magician while face up on the field or in graveyard. And if he's special summoned, you can add one Dark Magician or one card that mentions it from your deck to your hand. So this, like, Dark Magician got some crazy.
Dude, I've always liked Dark Magician as like when like all the fusions are him and Timaeus, like Dragon Knight, you know, like they take on like these like knight-like forms, and I really like that. But they were just so hard to get to. It was just impossible to play the deck that way. But this new stuff does it. Our buddy Kyle, he said that now that you read off that Wanted becomes full Dark Magician combo, and it like ends you on 2 interruptions, like by 1 Wanted. I think Wanted gets you to Witch gets you to Deception. You can use Deception, pitch your card, search Hallow gets you to Sylvie. Since you activate a spell, turn the Witch into that thing searches you to Timaeus, activate it, go into Dragoon. And there you go. Yeah, so Wanted becomes like a 1.5 card, because you have to have a card that's not the Witch to get rid of in hand. Right, a 1.5 card, 2 disruption.
That's wild. Well, I mean, which is cool, right? Because Blue Eyes got put back in the spotlight, and you know, Yami's always heart of the cards. He's coming back.
Yeah,
so
it is good. I think it's kind of cool. Hopefully, this stuff like gives like Dark Magician the ability to like at least stand up to like the Blue Eyes, you know, because I know that a few of my buddies got together and played like a Dark Magician with all of its stuff and Blue Eyes still just clobber Dark Magician.
Oh yeah.
And you know, he was like, "Why is my Eternal Soul this garbage when it came out first?" And then what's that? The light card, True Light is like insane.
Yeah.
He's like, "What the hell?" So that's pretty cool. I think that gives Dark Magician the ability to play, because you got souls. You got like the ability to play the wanted packages we just said to give you the ability to do things.
Yeah, the one. I mean, you have the one. I mean, if you do want to do like, there's always like the bigger Azamina build. Primite. I mean,
yeah, Primite's still an insane.
I mean, it's still going to be really good in it because normal monsters you're going to utilize it. So I mean,
and you can turn Rod, I think, into Magician's Rod into the Link 1 Blue Eyes.
Yep, level 4 spellcaster.
Yeah, you're locked into dragons, but I think there's some way that you can get around that. I can't remember. I think there's some maneuver to get around the whole dragon lock that it puts you in. Don't quote me on that, but they also have that Timaeus main deck monster too. That was really cool. It's like a summon, discard a card, a special summon it, and then it like confuse on field.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll see play, but like I know when I saw that card come out, I was like, yo.
Well, I mean, dude, Link 1, right? Rod, Link 1 to Blue Eyes, and then you have the Timaeus, and then it's old school, right? The Dark Magician Knight that came out a while. That's technically a dragon.
Oh,
so
you're
you can
right.
fusion with that and the Link 1.
Guess,
so potential.
Yeah. I mean, it's there. It's definitely there. Yeah, those cards are kind of wild. It actually made me kind of want to consider picking it up, because like I love the whole magician, of course, like the Dragon Master Knight, the one Amulet Dragon, and then the Magician Girl Knight card. She's like a Spell and Trap pop, I think.
Yeah,
she's and which is like it's all right. It's kind of cool.
Right.
And then the new Timaeus card, that new Dragon Fusion, it's pretty wild. It like comes out, it's unaffected by card effects until the end of the next turn, which would the new Days of Timaeus would banish it or destroy it.
I think it has like homage to the old Amulet. I actually still
have it. And when it battles, it can boost its attack 100 times the number of spells in the grave. And then it's
in both graves and banishments. So.
Wow, so it can get pretty big.
Yeah.
And then it has the ability to be a quick effect Spell and Trap pop.
Yep. During the bonus turn, target one Spell and Trap card on the field and destroy it.
And that's kind of wild, because Dark Magician had got something. One thing the Dark Magician had that I think, thank goodness, Blue Eyes didn't get, was that whole circle, Magician Circle. Whenever Dark Magician summon, banish a card. Mm-hmm. And that, like, when Dark Magician, I guess, got some more recent support, like, and it was kind of doing some quote-unquote crazy things, like, you just kind of, like, that's just icing on the cake, is that banish, you know? It's just spot removal that the deck will gradually get.
Right, like, so Dark Magician turned to like, to a playable, really, really slow control, like once per turn. Maybe you're lucky enough to get a Dragoon first turn, depending on the hand.
Yeah, if you hard open Red Eyes Fusion.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
But now you're hard control, but like now you can have a huge push.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's crazy.
And then so like I don't know if there's any hard negation. To be honest with you, I don't think there's any like hard negates. Like how Blue Eyes Spirit's like an insane card. It's like it negates a graveyard, then it can tag out to the big one. The big one's an on-field negation.
Depending on the build, and I'm definitely not a Dark Magician player by trade, but just the old Tamias card, he can just summon himself if you have a Dark Magician in hand or field. That's your Dragoon. So like
so I guess actually, what was I thinking? I literally just said Dragoon. I'm like, there's no negation. Yeah, so I guess they can, and that's pretty sweet being able to make Dragoon. Mm-hmm. They have Spell and Trap pop, and they have, of course, the Magician's Circle, which I believe is target any face-up card or any card in the field and banish it. So like they have, negation. That maybe it's just what it needs, man.
Yeah.
What's crazy is I think that you play 2 to 3 Eternal Souls because how powerful it is. Like maybe now you only play 1, because I think you can do some crazy stuff with Souls. Like Souls dump. Because Soul does more than draw cards. It like dumps a magician and then it can like bring one out.
Yeah.
It like has the ability to do that. And there's that magician, oh goodness, I can't think of its name. It's like a quick play, and then you can you stack your deck and then you banish it, and then you can draw cards. You can remember Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girls you have on field or grave.
It's like illusion something.
Yeah, and you get to draw cards. So you stack your deck and then draw. Like there's some cool plays with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens, and it might be a deck I probably end up I might just pick up just because now you can play like Tamias. Tamias is like always my favorite dragon.
Yeah.
Out of the 3.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty wild, and it's crazy that like Dark Magician it hasn't been released yet, but even the hero stuff in there with it is gonna be.
Yeah, that hero kind of looks like Iron Man or like a version of Iron Man.
Yeah, I've been seeing all the memes about it, which is pretty crazy. So I'm excited.
Maybe so. Hero, I know they just recently revealed those OCG cards of like Thunder Giant. And then the level 3 dragon, and then that water serpent card. So
which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That water serpent thing's pretty crazy.
Like 4 dinosaurs or sea serpents?
Yeah.
Or 3?
Yeah, you're locked out of the extra deck by like the dinosaur stuff.
Yeah.
But like,
has anyone ever read Logia or Dolka?
Yeah. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
Yeah, like those cards are insane. But maybe they'll give Heroes, but I think Heroes has kind of lost its ability to be a 40-card deck. Not to go on a whole rant here, away from the YCS and everything.
Right, yeah. We rambled ourselves into a detour.
Yeah, here we go. But like Heroes have like got so much like decent stuff that it's like put them to where like they can't be a 40-card deck. If they're playing 40, it's so compact and there's like limited space because everything they've gotten in the past few years has not been like busted or meta defined, but it's been just good enough that Heroes can play it to give them just like one more form of disruption.
Right, unless you do like a certain hero build, like I think obviously the best build is gonna be like the Omni hero, but like they get like Evil Hero gets a little bit of support, but like this little package is super great, and then you have Vision heroes, and then it's just like
Elemental heroes. Yeah,
there's no way you can play.
Yeah, Master, and it's all like searchable because Stratos just searches I think a hero monster, so it's all like comes together. And same with Shadow Mist, they all search like a hero monster, so it's all like all these different heroes that can come together, which is kind of cool. But hopefully this new stuff, like you said, maybe it's something good. Yeah, heroes need. I'm tired of heroes just kind of like not like getting these cool cards and then not being able to like at least be like rogue at the minimum. You have those few devoted players, but like I want to see a player show up to our locals, Kyle, if you watch the podcast, and do good with heroes and not get donked on by like Nibiru.
Yeah, like I enjoy heroes, but I think heroes takes like I don't know like. I'm bored one day and I watched Jaden BR videos and I'm just like, I can do that. And then I show up to locals with heroes and I'm just like, what the hell? Like it's just, it's wild. I mean, heroes, you have to have such a dedicated player to like know that deck in and out.
And if you're going to play a deck like heroes, like especially those low rogue decks, like you have to know that deck inside and out because those like you're so far down the totem pole that these other decks are just going to like donkey punch you. So you have to be like in tune, one with your deck,
Yeah, 100%.
Like you said, catching, you're sitting there visioning the waterfall, pulling the cards out of the waterfall.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, like I really could use Destiny Fusion. And then you get it, and you're like, this ain't it.
Yeah.
This ain't it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah. If that deck did get in the gate, though. That'd be wild.
It'd be wrong. It'd be justified.
Yeah, and it would be justified. Yeah,
and it would not like probably break the deck, by any means, because I think it would still encounter the issue as long as they give it. If they gave it, 3 cards like they did Dark Magician, it would still kind of keep all the heroes together. Like you still would have to play some of the other like lesser heroes just because they all do things, they all allow stuff. But
yeah.
So to move on now, did you see that list of, or not that list? Did you see that P-Jug?
P-Jug.
Yeah, the P-Jug.
Yeah.
I have it up here for you guys up here. You guys will see it. I can't, like, I'm just kind of blown away that the live stream went to a P-Jug.
Yeah.
And I know somebody's like, well, it's not a P-Jug. And listen, brothers, I'm in the medical field. Not saying that, I'm almost 90% certain that's a bottle of pee.
Yeah, I feel like I can imagine that cameraman, like he's just getting like normal shots of people.
B-roll, yep.
And he sees that in the corner of his eye, and he's just like, you know what? If I gotta look at this thing, y'all do too. You know what I mean?
Would be kind of cool. What do you think is in the jug?
Yeah, I mean,
Do you think it was that packed they couldn't get to the bathroom, or like it's in the middle of a long duel and they just are sitting there and they just like whip out this jug and they're just dueling while playing?
Dude, you win.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the Exodia. That's You whip it out and you start peeing in a jug. Dude, you got it, dude.
Imagine you're the opponent of one of those dudes, and you're like, did he pee in this jug and then like touch my deck?
Yeah.
And then I touched my deck?
Yeah, and then just ruin.
Dude, yeah, we've been to Nats, like the bathrooms weren't that crowded.
Yeah, like I just
what?
Okay, logically, I hope it's not pee.
Yeah, realistically, right. I hope it's not. But
I really hope it's
like
not.
I said, not 90% chance.
I mean,
I could see a YuGiOh player doing it.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
Yeah.
I can, man, oh man, I just hope somebody mixed a little bit too much lemonade, and
it's apple juice. It's a big thing of apple juice. They just want to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
See, when you say it like that, it definitely the pee jug just sounds way more logical when you're talking about it.
Yeah, like I don't know. Fingers crossed. I hope it was a hydration drink.
Yep.
I hope they were just, up in their electrolytes and.
Yep, absolutely. Kind of wild. Just that was not on my bingo card for the YCS.
But if that's a pee jug,
you need help.
You're a sick fuck.
Yeah, you're disgusting. So now to kind of just wrap up the podcast, this is kind of the last thing on the agenda to kind of talk about is after the YCS, spreadsheet drama went wild. In fact, I found out that there's a YuGiOh drama Facebook page that I kind of want to go be a part of just to see the drama.
Oh man!
And
get your Michael Jackson eating popcorn.
Yeah,
Gifts ready.
Yeah. Ooh, this will be good to talk about. And so I guess one of the big concerns, or one of the I was able to keep track with a little bit, but one of the major things that I saw was that someone in the Discord, I think it was the Inner Circle.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Inner Circle. They do a lot of spreadsheets and stuff. And one of the pro players in that Inner Circle said that he shared his list or something like that. The goo was given after or during YCS. They got the goo, the text and stuff right before YCS. And a lot of people who had paid for that spreadsheet was like, hey, wait a minute. We didn't get it, and we paid for it. So why are you giving this free knowledge to people that are in your group, whereas we paid for it?
Right. Oh, I'm breaking everything over here. Yeah, if I remember, it wasn't updated in a correct, timely manner or anything like that. So I don't know, man. It's such.
First off, we're not financial advisors. If you want to spend your money on spreadsheets,
yeah, dude,
do it.
Spreadsheets, OnlyFans, go for it.
Yeah. Whatever you choose, we're not financial advisors.
But hands down, I don't know, if you pay for the product, right, then that's just marketing. That's just seller and purchaser agreement, right? If I pay for the product, give it to me. You know what I mean? That's just it. That's just plain and simple.
Yeah, that's how purchasing goes. Yeah.
But I mean, if you're expecting to buy the spreadsheet and just become the best YuGiOh player,
oh no,
you're far off. So it's I don't know, it's kind of a touchy subject.
It is. It's kind of crazy how it has become such a touchy subject, because if you go through the online social media, you see people who are don't buy spreadsheets, and you see people who are riding to the aid of said spreadsheets. And I do believe there's some use out of them, right? I can imagine you're busy for work, you don't have time to sit down and put in the repetitions, and maybe you're not a visual learner, but you're the ones that can read it and then you remember,
Right, exactly.
Go all for it. But a lot of stuff that is on spreadsheets you can find on YouTube. You go find those really tiny YouTube channels with 300 subscribers. Mm-hmm. They'll put that secret combo that you paid for, he put on YouTube for free. And
Team COG.
Well, I haven't done a combo thing in a while. But that's really what it is. But it's you have to dig for it versus you go pay, I don't know how much spreadsheets cost,
I think like 200. I think.
Jesus Christ! Are you serious?
Yeah. $200. I mean, I would never purchase one. I mean, I think the best way to get better at Yu-Gi-Oh, man, is just you got to play. You got to sit down. Dueling book. Repetition. Yeah, that's like the shortest way to say what I was about to. But
repetition.
Just sit down, play, learn your deck, and like just play. But like you said, counter argument. Like some people don't have the time to play.
Yeah, and that's where those spreadsheets come in. But $250.
Yeah, it's
that's
pretty crazy.
I was thinking like $20 or $40.
No
That's
way.
what I was thinking. I was like $20 or $40. But I guess arguably if you have an authentic content creator who put a lot of time into it, because I know that's one of the reasons like I've not done a spreadsheet period at all, because I don't got the time or patience to put into it and do it. I'd rather you call me on Discord, hit me up on YouTube, and try to get a hold of me, and then if I can set aside the 15 minutes during the day, I'd rather sit there and like show you what I'm talking about versus do a spreadsheet. But yeah, there was a lot of it became like, if you're not first, you're last. It was like a whole meme thing that happened. If you're still playing Dotscaper, you're behind, and it like if you're not first, you're last. If you're second, you're not first. It just came like a whole meme. That's one thing about Zodiac, or the classic Yu-Gi-Oh page that we'll call it now, is they're kind of savage, man. They are a savage group.
Oh yeah, it's funny, man.
It is,
Y'all light people up, and it's hilarious. But
it is no remorse either.
Oh yeah, which I mean, it's all right. Bullying is okay.
Bullying builds tougher skin.
Right. But I don't know, man. I just hands down, if you want to support your content creator or whatever, you want to help them, because I mean that's what. Unfortunately, you don't make much money in Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, you don't.
And so if they want to guide people,
absolutely,
and they want to make some money off of it, then
and like you said, if that's how you want to support your one of your favorite YouTubers or Yu-Gi-Oh players, do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, like no one's literally stopping you.
Yep.
You might get bullied a little bit online,
but that's just
you'll be okay.
Ever since the spreadsheet thing has happened, I've just kind of heard that. I've heard kind of weird things where people, and coaching. I guess we can throw coaching in here too, because I do agree with coaching in a way, because you get a coach to get better at something, especially when you've like gone and done as much as you can. The same thing can go for Yu-Gi-Oh. But I'm very curious on, like, I'd like to not pay no $240 to sit in a coaching class, but I'd like to understand what the difference is between like what people make the metaphor to it, like like you get a personal trainer to help you lift weights and build muscle, and that's like the excuse is like you get a trainer to help you get better. That's why you get a coach to help you better at Yu-Gi-Oh. But just some things don't translate over back and forth. There's definitely something. And it's like, what is this person able to teach and help you do that you couldn't do yourself, unless you struggle with learning some things,
Yeah, I mean,
otherwise does the guy just sit there and kind of like talk to you, like, what I mean? Like, does he just kind of sit there?
I mean, I've never been into coaching, so I mean, I can't really answer that. But like, I think maybe it's like just their theory crafting and like spreadsheets. I'm sure maybe the spreadsheets have notes and stuff.
Yeah,
but sometimes you just got to sit across from somebody or like Discord call and like have it explained to you, and like play it out, and that's like the huge difference.
Is. But I've heard like horror stories of people paying ooga boogle money for a coaching session and then getting into this classroom or the classroom. I don't know if it's I don't know the true title of it, but a classroom, and then they're told, you don't speak, I'll do all the talking. They don't get to ask questions. They don't get to do nothing, and like that just seems wild to me. That was like. Surely I can't be the only person that's heard that like there.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard it.
Oh, well, that's okay.
But I'm not like addicted to constantly looking up Yu-Gi-Oh news and stuff like that. But
this was a long time ago.
Yeah, and I'm sure like maybe there's some people who still do it, and like hopefully they've improved, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, no one's perfect. No one's gonna be like the best teacher in the world, because like I'm like a chipmunk. I can have like a good point and then like a flash of light, and then I don't even know what my name is. So like it's rough for me to explain stuff. So maybe that works for them.
Maybe that's what the coaching. Maybe that's the entire point of the coaching, is because you get that person in there to keep because sometimes like in Yu-Gi-Oh, especially when you play those crazy combo decks, you get kind of lost in the freestyle sauce and you lose sight. You play into hand traps you don't need to play into. You play overextend where you don't need to. You need that guiding person to be like, stop. You don't need to do this. Like this is enough. And then they have the explanation of why you shouldn't. Play into Nibiru when this is enough to stop most of the stuff. But just to go and talk positive about spreadsheets real quick, is I've heard the most bang for your buck spreadsheet that is out there in the market is Yassine's Crystron spreadsheet. I've heard that is true, like if you want to buy it, and I don't know how much it is, but that is the best value spreadsheet that I've heard about. Like everybody who has got that spreadsheet from Yassine has just really been said nothing but positive about it. Because I've dove through the comments, dude. I'm on there. I'm like a little lurker, man. I'm lurking through the comments trying to see what are people saying, and especially when doing a podcast, we got to know what's going on.
Right.
So going through it, and that's essentially everyone just said. Some people are like, yeah, bought Yassine's. It had just so much knowledge in it, and of course they're not saying like, yeah, I went and won my locals because I got the spreadsheet. They're just saying, for payment versus what you get is there for his. So if you guys are a huge fan of Yassine, go support the man and get his spreadsheet. If that's your thing. But if you guys don't want to buy it, don't do it. But yeah, but any other topics or any other points you want to touch on, Jason?
I think I'm good.
All right.
Nothing comes to mind.
Well, good deal. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. Please remember to give a like and comment down below and subscribe if you enjoy the podcast. And
what was in the jug?
Yeah, comment down below what you think was in the jug. Wrong answers only.
Yeah, wrong answers only.
But everyone out there, stay safe, stay healthy. This is Charles and Jason signing out.
Peace.